Hey there, Cabela's Pro Staff Matt Balcom here from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Today I'm working on a few small upgrades to my canoe for wilderness tripping, and I thought I'd make a little video to show you what I'm up to. So I'm going to be doing two things here today. The first one is I'm going to be adding some lifting handles to the bow and stern of the canoe. And then secondly, I'm going to be adding some bungee straps onto the tops of the bow and stern that can hold things like throw bags or coils of rope. So for what I'm doing today, I just need a few basic materials. One cordless drill. I need a couple small lengths of rope, a bungee cord, piece of garden hose, a square or a measuring tape would work as well, and just a pencil for marking on the canoe. Okay, so let's get started with the lifting handles. First thing I'm going to do is decide where I want my handles to go through the hull of the canoe. I think I want my centers of my holes to be 1.5 inches below the bottom of my gunnel. So what I'm going to do is set my square for 1.5 inches and mark a line. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now similarly I'm going to mark out how far back from the bow of the canoe I want to put my holes. So just as a standard, I've set my square to 2 inches and I'll line it up along my mark from the previous step and then put a hash mark where I'm going to drill my hole. Right there. And same on the other side of the canoe. So the next thing you want to do, get your cordless drill and pick a drill bit size that closely matches the rope that you're going to be using. And then drill through the holes that you've previously marked. Okay, so what I've done is cut an 8-inch long section of my garden hose, and all I'm going to do is take my piece of rope and run it up through, and then I'm going to take each end of my rope and run it through the 2 holes I just drilled in the hull of the canoe. So there's one side, there's the other side. Now, pull those through, and then the thing to check will be you don't want your handle so tight that when you go to lift your canoe, you bash your knuckles off this front plate. You want to make sure you leave yourself enough clearance. Now you're looking inside the stern of my canoe and you can see those 2 ropes that I pulled through. So all I'm going to do to fix these on the inside of the canoe is pull probably just a little more slack than I think I need and tie this in an overhand knot. It's a little bit difficult in there, but you can sort of see what I've done. There, so this is my new stern handle, and if we go up here, here's one on the bow. So now the next thing I want to do is add a spot to store a little bit of coiled rope or my throw bag. So what I'm going to do is drill a couple of holes here and mount a bungee cord that can go on. Okay, so one thing to be aware of doing this is that you've got the gunnels of the canoes here, and these run up underneath this plate, and I don't want to drill down through them. So what I'm going to do is use my square to measure off how far in the gunnels go. Right here I'm going to match my square up along this front plate, and I'm going to set the square to that depth. Now I can run my square up and know where I can safely drill without impacting the gunnels. And what I can also do is account for half of a drill bit width, so I'm going to add another 1/4 inch to that. Right there will be my first hole, and then I'll do the same on the opposite side. How I'm going to keep this in here is just an overhand knot in each side. There it goes. Pull it through and tie another overhand knot in the bottom here. There. Now I've got a good strong loop for a throw bag. Okay, so there you have it. A couple of pretty quick, pretty easy things you can do to get your canoe ready for a wilderness expedition. A couple of other things that were done to this boat that I didn't include in this video. When I got this thing, it had the old wicker style seats, and they were pretty beat up, so those got replaced with new ones. Also, you can see the tie downs on the sides here. Those are for tying down a spray deck to the canoe, so this thing's all geared up for that. As well, I can take you inside the boat. It's also geared up with knee pads, and then right in the middle, got some D-loops that are anchored down to the floor of the canoe, which you can use to tie your gear down, so if you do end up dumping, you're not going to lose all your gear. So when I got this canoe, there was a little bit of damage to the bow and the stern, so anyone who's got an older canoe may want to take a look at doing this repair. The canoe had taken a little bit of a beating. It was worn through the first layer, so this is a pretty easy one. It's a Kevlar felt, and you put it on with epoxy. Luckily, the damage on mine had not gone through to the inside of the canoe. It was just through kind of the first layer, like the paint. So this is just a great band-aid to put over it, and it'll make the canoe last a lot longer.